All right, let's talk about something that can instantly improve your writing, knowing when to use active and passive voice. You might not even realize you're using passive voice when writing emails, reports, or even Instagram captions. But don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll not only recognize the difference, but you'll know exactly how to use both to your advantage. And if this is your first time here, welcome to the Writing Lab with Michelle Farley. Here's where I break down grammar in a way that actually makes sense. If you missed our last video on the Oxford comma, be sure to check that out. I'll link it in the description below. Now, let's get started with the basics. In the simplest terms, active voice is when the subject performs the action, while passive voice is when the subject receives the action. Let's compare. Active voice: the chef cooked a delicious meal. Passive voice: a delicious meal was cooked by the chef. Notice how the active sentence, the subject, the chef, comes first, making it clear and direct. But in the passive sentence, the subject is hidden at the end. The focus shifts to the object, a delicious meal, which makes it feel weaker. Let's try another one. Here is an active voice. The journalist wrote an eye-opening article. Here's passive voice. An eye-opening article was written by the journalist. Do you see how the second sentence feels a little clunky? The passive voice takes more words and feels indirect. So you may be wondering now, Michelle, why does this matter? Well, active voice is usually preferred because it's clearer, more engaging, and easier to read. It makes your writing stronger, which is especially important for business, emails, persuasive essays, and storytelling. So in essence, active voice is direct and clear, more engaging for the reader, easier to understand. Whereas passive voice, when overused, can be wordy and indirect, can sound weak or confusing, hides who is responsible for the action. Here's an example of how active voice makes your writing stronger. Passive voice: the decision to expand the company was made by the CEO. Active voice: the CEO made the decision to expand the company. But wait, does that mean passive voice is always bad? Not at all. Sometimes you want to use it. Here's when. When the focus should be on the action, not the doer. For example, a new policy was introduced last week. When the doer is unknown or irrelevant. For example, the package was delivered this morning. When you want to sound formal or objective, mistakes were made in the budgeting process. When you're writing scientific or technical documents, the experiment was conducted under controlled conditions. All right, so now it's time to test your skills. I'll show you a sentence and you'll have a few seconds to decide if it's an active or passive voice. The book was read by millions of people. Take a few seconds to decide. If you said passive voice, you are correct. Let's try another one. The scientists discovered a new species. Take a few more seconds and decide. If you said active voice, you are correct. Let's do one more. The final decision was reached after much debate. If you said passive voice, you are correct. So how are we feeling? Are you more confident about recognizing active versus passive voice? Let me know in the comments. And if you'd like more resources on improving your writing, I've listed 5 must-read grammar books in the description below. By the way, if you're finding this video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and check out my other grammar videos. The more you understand these concepts, the more natural they'll feel in your writing. So, should you always use active voice? I would say most of the time, yes, but passive voice has its place too, especially when you want to focus on the action or keep things neutral. The key is knowing when to use each one. Here we are at the end of another lesson. If you made it this far, you're officially leveling up your writing game. Don't forget to check out my previous grammar videos and grab my recommended grammar books in the description below. See you next video.